again, when you talk about internal factors, it all depends on your own business strategy, because your HR strategy has to be aligned with business strategy, and then your compensation strategy has to be aligned with the HR, which in turn has to be aligned with the business strategy. When I said that it has to be aligned with the business strategy, what does it mean? It means that you will decide as a company, you will have a compensation philosophy. Your philosophy will depend on what kind of a business are you into, what kind of a products, what kind of a services. So typically what happens, will you say, if I ask you, there are two companies, Amazon and uh, Apple. Now, will the HR manager of Amazon be paid a same salary uh, like the Apple?
No.
Two HR
No.
managers working for, they are working for, one is working for Apple and one is working for Amazon. Will you expect that both these companies will pay the same salary,
No,
doing
they
the
would
same
differ.
job? Huh?
They would differ.
No.
Salaries would differ.
Differ? Why? Why?
Because many a times it's also location dependent. So if
Uh,
it was in India,
mm.
then the salary would be at par with Indian standards.
See,
It's
So
many a
also it's
times,
also about
uh,
that company's philosophy of pay, because it is both
many a
are.
times, why I gave you this very interesting example is many a times when what I will do, hey, I'm an L&D head. Now, why am I not getting the same salary as in compared to, I will be comparing myself with another company from the market data, and I may not be paid, and then I get demotivated. It all depends on, as Sadesh says, compensation philosophy. But this philosophy, where does it come from? From the business strategy. Because why? There are three kinds of companies, three kinds of business models. One is product leadership. Companies like Google, Apple, they're all into development of products, right? They'll do a lot of R&D. So if you want to do R&D, you want the best people. They'll spend a lot on L&D also. So what is happening? They have to pay the highest salaries to get the best brains. Okay? But Amazon, or say, for example, McDonald's, Pizza, all these are companies which are into operational excellence. That means only 1 to 2% of people are critical for me. The rest of them, I don't need all scientists. I will only pay average salaries. Because if I pay very high salaries, I'm promising to the customer that my product is going to be of good quality, affordable cost. How will I then give? So their focus will be on paying less salaries. Are you with me? Contrast. So Amazon salary, by and large, compensation philosophy is what? That I don't want the best of brains from IIMs, IITs, etc. Only for my 3% or 5% of the positions. Like for, say, for example, my logistics manager or my supply chain guy or my what is this procurement guy. Yeah, they're key people for my business. So those key people, business drivers, I will pay very high salary. But the rest, I'll pay average salaries. Are you with me? But you can't afford to have the same philosophy with a product leadership company like an Apple or a Google, because they are thriving on continuously making new features, new products. So you want the best of breeds. Are you with me now? So your salaries will vary depending on your business strategy. Okay. Now, having said that, then your, like I said, your compensation, internal factors, criticality of your role, what you do, all these make a lot of importance for internal. So these are some of the factors which impact internally when you actually design, when you actually pay for certain positions. Okay, we'll talk
Ma'am,
about it more. Yeah. Yes, Savi.
when it comes to startups, we generally see startups pay more to their leaderships.
Mm.
Is it again this organizational philosophy in play because they want to hire the best of talents during their formative years and mature?
I will
Uh,
tell you, startup, what kind of people do they take?
very
At
flexible
some
who can
positions,
do a
they
lot
will
of
take
technical
nice,
work.
experienced people, right? Who have
Yes,
already
yes.
done the job. Like, for example, I'll tell you, I used to head a big multinational called Sutherland. We had a vertical called medical coding. Now, lot of medical coding is a very lucrative business. So you have a lot of margin. So a lot of companies would get into this. And what would they do? They would hire coach, plug and play, experienced people who can come and set up the processes. You are not going to take a trainee or an intern. You want somebody who can build processes for you. Now you have to pay some money for that. So you are paying 2 or 3 times more. So startups take experienced people initially to set the systems. But after that, can you continue with it? That's an investment. But can you continue to make profits if you are going to pay very high salary, or they will do an ESOP, etc.? But you can't continue. What they will do then they will do something called, when Deloitte, I don't know how many of you know Deloitte company, right? When they started this vertical called, market intelligence vertical, they brought people from where? London Business School of Economics, Delhi School of Economics. Now, will they come cheap? They won't come cheap. You have to pay good salaries. If now, even to their clients, they have to say, hey, see, we are having people with such high, good educational background who can build systems. After some time, then they started taking people from tier 3 colleges, so that when your systems are set up and all, now you are only trying to build a pipeline. You can't continue to have those high salaries. Got it, Avi?
Got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, so we talked about how external and internal factors impact salary. In today's times, of course, globalization, in today's times, technology are impacting uh, compensation. For example, so we won't talk much in detail. There's a lot of reading material, but I want to touch upon one aspect of it. This is Yeah, I want to talk about this in particular, this external factor, which is called, in today's times, the social and demographic factor is also impacting. Agree or not? What do we mean? If you see 2 decades ago, people wouldn't shift jobs often. They would actually work for companies for their lifetime, right? But today, what's happening? The workforce is only looking at what? 2 to 3 years of employment. 5 years, if they stay, it's a long period, right? So, so how does it impact compensation then? You have to look at, hey, if this is the kind of a demographics, then what are their expectations? Because there are certain kind of expectations this workforce is coming with. So we have to understand what are those challenges? What are those expectations? So, how do organizations uh, manage this workforce, young workforce, giving them what? More of work life balance, flexibility. If you notice, more organizations are going in for study leaves or even work while you study, right? All these programs, like never heard of previously, but today organizations are actually saying, hey, why don't you go and do an MBA and we will give you 50% of, the cost of it. And then once you finish it, we'll also pay you fully. So that you are able to, so these are some of the things. Okay. So, when you have aging workforce, how does it impact compensation? If your workforce is really aged, what do you do? More insurance costs. Yes
Yeah,
or no? Huh?
right, right. Mm.
Okay. Yeah. And so, in terms of, in fact, what we call it as a, career deceleration. Today, in the market, you can find what? Good, healthy people even after retirement. So, can I actually look at talent which is useful for me at much lesser cost? Okay. From this talent group. Like, say, for example, I'll just give you an HR department. In an HR department, typically you need what? Somebody to do your all government regulations, Provident Fund, gratuity, ESI, everything. Now, you need a person who is highly well aware because it's all process documentation. Now,
Right.
it's always best, at least what we would do is typically, because I don't need this guy coming in every day. So take a retired PF commissioner, somebody, who can come once in a week, do all your work. And it also helps because he knows the office, he knows how to go about it, right? Huh? And comes at a much lesser cost. So what person, when you're looking at compensation, look at those positions. You also have to identify your isonova metrics are important but not urgent. So critical positions, but you don't need them full time there. But you can't do with the, people who are average because they are going to impact performance. So those people whom you need deep pockets of, research area, like for example, oil and gas, you need scientists, etc. Maybe not full time. So you can use
Yeah.
people who are retired from ONGC, etc., etc., who will come at half the salary. Okay, so you as a compensation expert, you can also dip into this kind of a talent. All right. So as I said, globalization and of course the technology have to a great extent impacted compensation in the sense that they have eliminated lower jobs so that I could pay higher salary to the critical jobs, and then offshoring, outsourcing, all this has come into play. So our cost arbitrage, labor arbitrage, etc. So in this, one word, one vocabulary I want to introduce you is economic tripwire. So when you do this, outsourcing, you can actually do it till the time it is economically viable. If it is not economically viable, you cannot outsource it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So the rest of it in depth, you can actually read. There's a lot of reading material, but I don't want to spend a lot more time on external factors. Okay. Having said that, let us quickly go into this compensation fundamentals. All right. So when I talk about compensation, what is compensation? How will you define compensation?
Compensation is
You
the
receive in terms of monetary or non-monetary for the kind of effort and everything you have put in, right? It could be both monetary and non-monetary. It does not have to be only monetary compensation. So when you talk about a compensation system, there is direct and indirect. Anywhere globally, there is direct and indirect. Now, when you talk about direct compensation, what is direct? It's all about money, cash, which you'll get today or maybe in the next 1 2 years. Okay, when you talk about indirect compensation, it's all non-monetary benefits, okay, services and purposes, etc. All right. Now, when we talk about direct compensation, the most common elements which globally you will have is one is base salary, base pay, or fixed salary. So when I say base pay, what does it mean? That means it is guaranteed pay. So when I bring Sadish on board for a particular role, I'll say, hey, he will be paid month on month, guaranteed fixed pay. This is his fixed pay. Whether he performs, whether he underperforms, I have to pay him. Okay, this is called guaranteed cash. Now, how do you calculate this base pay? Based on the job worth. And how do you calculate job worth? By doing a process called job evaluation. So, base pay is calculated through job evaluation. Got it? Okay. So, base pay can be month on month salary or hourly basis wages. Any clarifications here, guys? Just give me a thumbs up. That's it. Okay. Now, Indirect, we talked about base salary, which is guaranteed pay. Now, second, we talk about what we call about variable pay. Variable pay. That means today, at the end of the month, today you may get 500. Next month, you may not get anything. It is varied. Variable pay. It is dependent on how much you have performed. Okay. Now, variable pay comes in different aspects. Now, your variable pay could be for performance. Okay. Solely for performance, which we also call it as performance pay. For example, bonus. Is it a variable pay? Yes. Bonus is not guaranteed, right? That you will get the same amount of money year on year. It depends on if I'm talking about what is it, organization bonus in terms of profit which is made. Today, this year organization made X amount, next year Y amount, depending on the profit. Commission. When does a person get commission? Typically, this commission is used in a classic sense for a salesperson.
Yeah.
I have made 100 units. So over and above 100 units, I get certain amount of commission. If I made more than 200, I'll get certain. So commission can vary depending on my performance. Yes or no? Okay.
Right.
It is not guaranteed. Piece rate. Again, on in a manufacturing organization on the shop floor, piece rate. What does it mean, piece rate? Anybody who's familiar with this piece rate? Quick,
It
quick.
is the compensation paid on the
Production
basis.
pay that is paid for the production that you are doing the number of pieces
Exactly.
that you.
Yeah. So you come to a consensus saying that, hey, this you have to, over and above, you will be paid on a piece, not much of rework, etc. Okay. What is profit
Lost you
sharing?
for a moment there. We lost you for a moment there. I didn't hear you. On the piece rate, we lost you
Okay.
for a moment there.
Piece rate. Acha. I'm so sorry. Piece rate. What is piece rate? Typically piece rate is used in manufacturing organization, depending on how many pieces or how many units you have to make. So the union decides so many pieces you have to make, target. Then over and above, so for every, a piece or for so many, how much. So it is, you actually calculate the amount you get after you reach a certain target. So a person can make 50 more, 100 more, based on that he gets. It varies. So that's a variable pay. What is profit sharing at an organization level? When you talk about profit sharing is at an organization level. If organization are made profit this year, X amount, it will share. Next year, that profit, it hasn't made anything, then you won't get any profit sharing, right? Stock options, again, variable pay, right? Shift differentials means if you work in the night, you will get more. If you work in the daytime, you might get less. So there's a differential in the payment depending on what shift you are operating. So all these are incentive pays for what? For performance. For performance. So when we talked about variable pay, okay. So we talked about what? Variable pay, performance. Okay. Now, in performance, you can have what? At an individual level. Can you hear me? This is showing. Yeah. Can you hear me?
And
Ah,
on
okay.
team level, also
Hey
performance
guys,
pay can. Yeah.
you can also pay at a team level.
Team level, yeah.
Team level. You can also pay for a what? The location.
Yeah. Business unit,
or you can call it as a business unit, and also across the
organization.
organization, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes at a location level or a business unit, you also call it as, have you heard
Gain
of
sharing.
this? Have you heard of
Yeah.
this? Gain sharing.
Yes.
Why is gain sharing done? To ensure that the unit works collaboratively and there are certain parameters fixed in terms of what productivity, in terms of quality, in terms of usage of raw material, etc. Some, so when you do this, then there is also a target. Okay, this is the taking the last 3 years or 4 years a productivity target taken. So anything you reach more than this, then you get some kind of a gain sharing, which is shared across all the employees at an operation level. Most of the organization, in fact, even in IT, gain sharing is done. It is more rather than gain sharing, they talk as a project. When a project is initiated to ensure that the project is done timely without bugs, there are certain criteria. And once you finish the project within the timeline, so you get some amount of project incentive. Okay. So all this is about the performance. Now, but variable pay can be also paid for a couple of other things. One is we call it as, can call it as merit pay or skill based pay. Have you heard of that? Skill based
Mm.
pay, right? So if you, one is paying for cross skills. What does it mean? In a manufacturing organization, say I'm actually onboarding a guy who's a um, welder, okay, or say fitter. The talent is abundant, and so I'm taking a fitter. But for a welder, there is a high demand. Now, what I will say, hey, if you also get a certification for a welder and you get trained in that, we'll give you a special additional incentive. Okay, one increment more. I'm actually
Mm.
what L&D person, Avi. So, promoting, because these skills are very important. So what do I do? Rather than taking from the market a welder who is of a higher salary, I will then have this guy, once he is trained, etc., shift him to a welder because I can easily get fitters. This is called cross skilling. Now, what is in it for me for the employee? He's actually learning more skills, employability, etc. Right? There's another thing called upskill. So what I will tell, say for example, if I'm recruiting a BCom guy in a bank, so I'll tell him, hey, in the next 5 years, you can actually become a manager. But then in the next 2 years, you have to actually have there's a banking exam, what is that called? CAIIB 1. And the next 4 years, you have to get CAIIB 2. So every time you get this, you'll get one additional incentive. Now, what is happening? You are taking care of his career growth. So you're giving him a career growth plan. That is, next 4 years, you can become a manager.
So this guy is leveling
So
up.
what this guy will now stay for 4 retention plan. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So this is
Yes.
called upskilling. So L&D people, they start looking at career maps, etc., and say, hey, how can we actually, ensure there is upskilling, cross-skilling? Because otherwise, what happens? The employee expectations are so high, they want high salaries, that this is a part of the total reward strategy. Learning and growth, career growth, etc. It doesn't cost much because you can't keep increasing the salary. When you keep increasing the salary, what happens? Your wage cost goes up. If my wage cost goes up, my profit reduces. But yet I have to retain people, give value to people. So there are other ways. We will talk about it as a part of the total reward strategy. Then merit pay. Then we are talking about something called hardship. Have you heard of hardship allowances?
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
also a part of a variable pay. If I'm working, especially say Sadish in his marine, there will be 3 off, 3 on, rig allowance. This because anything for hardship, whether it's a paid leave, whether it's an extra allowance. Why are you giving it as an allowance? Because the moment he's not in that role, then it ceases. But if I'm adding
Definitely.
it to him as a base salary, that means I have to pay him all the time. Like, for example, night shift allowance. If a guy is working at night, I give him night shift allowance. And if he shifted to morning, then I don't give him. But if I'm putting it as a base salary or a guaranteed, that means the organization has to pay whether he works at night or not. Got it? Quickly come up and tell me some hardship allowances your organization is paying. Quick, quick.
This offshore allowances that we are paying for the employees is a hardship allowance.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone else?
Overtime, is it a hardship allowance too?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's a variable pay. It's a variable pay. Overtime is a variable pay and it's a hardship allowance. You're working, even that mm, you pay to a salary of 2 days if you work on a public holidays.
Ah,
Yeah. Then remote allowance, then, if there is an occupational hazard area, huh? Or if you are actually dealing with certain chemicals, okay, or if you are in a very like for example blast furnace, look at the kind of the furnaces. So it's a very hazardous kind of an environment, so you are paid some amount, some allowance. Okay, all right guys. Even simple thing like a teller allowance. Okay. Now, then you have something called market linked incentive. What is this? Or it's also called bonus. What is this? We call it as MLRI. We call it as MLRI. अरे क्या हो गया? Oh, okay, okay. हाँ. MLRI. Okay. You know what is this? Market linked retention incentive. Anybody who happens to have heard of this MLRA?
no.
No? Simple. What does it mean? That say for example again in I'm recruiting a lot of Java people. Suddenly that has become demand. Now what do I do? Like I was giving that example of a data scientist, then I will give some kind of a adjustment allowance for 1 year, 2 years, till the time this, sudden demand for this. Because if I put it as a base salary, no, but 1 second, internet connections stable. Can you hear me? Yeah, now so what do organizations do? Becoming cognizant of the fact that these particular skills are becoming very, very are in demand. Okay. So you give them some kind of a market linked incentive bonus. It's also called hot skill allowance. Now, some of the small, medium organizations who don't have bench strength, they tend to give them. But the large organizations, like say, for example, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, they stopped giving MLRA. Why? It came into a conflict because their others started questioning whether their skills are not very critical. So therefore, what they do is every time people they are there on the bench, they then don't get variable pay. I hope you know that in IT, when you're working on projects, you get variable pay. But when you're not working, then you only get your guaranteed cash. You don't get variable pay. So therefore, what happens? It's at that point of time, he's always looking out for jobs. So they start training them in the kind of technologies or skills which are required for future. So that's how they keep their human capital future ready. So that I don't
Okay.
have to buy from the market or I don't have to give MLRA. So I'm actually giving what I'm building up, and I'm investing in learning and growth. Okay. So to make my human capital future ready. Okay, guys, any questions? So in variable pay,
And
we talked about
what they do with this MLRI pays after a certain period of time? Basically, like, okay, when the market is actually changing, they will take this back, this incentive plan. So what is it?
when the demand is not there, then they will withdraw this allowance. That is the idea.
Okay, okay.
Maximum 2 years, 3 years. You can't have it for 5 years, 10 years, because that demand is only there for some time. Now visualize, how did the demand arise? Because there are some more companies, new startups which have come. So they are actually creating more demand. But slowly and slowly, what happens? The supply also will become more. So therefore, it will even off. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I've spent a lot of time now in this. Very good. Okay. And then we talk about deferred pay. Deferred pay is something you get paid later. Like for example, can you give me an example of deferred pay? A simple ESOPs. It's a deferred pay. You can't get your ESOP right on the day when you get your letter. Okay. The purpose of ESOP is what? To ensure that he can be retained. Retention bonus, that is also deferred pay. They don't give it to you immediately. Say, for example, I want Minal to stay in this, or it is given to critical positions for 3 years, 5 years. So it is spread in such a way that the person gets his retention bonus, in certain installments till the tenure is over. Now, for example, joining bonus. This is something like, okay, fine, I'm going to join. But then in 2 months, you will say, I'll join, but you haven't joined. That doesn't mean that you will get 50% of the joining bonus. Either you get it or you don't get it. If you but because you are going to join, it doesn't mean that you're going to get 50% of it. Okay? But joining bonus, retention bonus, all these are variable pays, varies. Okay. Quickly, we'll be talking more on this. I want you all to do the exercises a little later. I'm introducing another concept. You'll be doing exercises on this. Total reward strategy. Have you heard of total reward strategy? Any one of you?
Yes, yes.
Total reward strategy. What is the difference between reward and total reward strategy?
Rewards is like anything you are getting in terms of like uh as an incentive, or like uh as a part of your achievement. You are getting something from the organization. And total rewards are like includes like every dimension, like suppose for company offering for something for your mental well-being, for your performance, for development or career opportunities. So these are the things actually comes together in a
Okay.
total reward strategies.
So when we talk about compensation, it's all about what, in terms of cash, what you're getting. Base salary, variable pay, everything cash. Okay. When we talk about reward, reward is all about both monetary and non-monetary. It includes everything. But when we talk about total reward strategy, what does it mean? Let me put it very simply. When we are talking about, you know, to motivate people, to attract people, to engage people. You know, just increasing the salary of a person does not motivate him. And when you increase salary, what is happening? You're actually increasing your cost. So when we talk about rewards, when we talk about total rewards, it's the perception. What is the kind of a value proposition are you giving? So today organizations very clearly, they say there are 5 elements when you actually talk about total rewards. Okay. Can you see the slide? Yeah. So when we talk about the 5 elements, what are they? Compensation. When I say compensation, it includes both the fixed and variable.
Yeah.
Benefits, then we talk about all benefits. Today, organizations are, we'll talk about all those list of benefits. Then work life balance, then performance and recognition, what kind of recognitions, performance you're doing, then all development and career opportunities. Okay. So these are the 5 elements if you want to ensure that there is high engagement and satisfaction. Okay. So, in order to attract, motivate, and retain our employees, what you have to do, you have to work so that you create better perception in such a way that the employment experience is very, it's perceived as great. So, that's a kind of a EVP, employee value proposition you are creating through total rewards. As I said, total reward is a strategy. Just by increasing compensation, you cannot have people who are engaged. So you use across the employee life cycle, right from the time they enter your organization till the exit, you are looking at all these 5 elements. So when you do an exercise, you will have better clarification on this. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So these are the 5 elements, right? Okay. Now we'll talk about equity theory, because I want you all to really do the exercises which will give you much more. Now, what is equity theory? Very, very important, fundamental to compensation. In fact, Adam Smith, who was a great philosopher and also a psychologist, he said, people are motivated only when they see their inputs are equal to outputs. Or people are happy in an organization when inputs are equal to outputs. What is input? Anybody? Quick, quick. This is like a fire round. What is input?
Employee contribution.
Absolutely. Inputs will be experience, my education, my special skills, my effort and time. So I come in the morning, I do all this, I come with this kind of an experience. And what is outcome or outputs? The pay it gives, the benefits, the achievements, the recognition. So I put in something in my job, I get something. When I see that it is equal, then I'm very happy, I'm motivated, I'm engaged. The HRBP's very, very important KRA is ensure that there is high engagement. Yes or no? Huh? Yeah? What
Yes.
is HRBP's key KRA?
Understanding the business and deliver based on their productivity.
Yeah. So that means unless and until your workforce is engaged, they can't deliver, right? So you're constantly doing engagement studies, you're constantly finding out, is my employee satisfaction index very high, etc. No, but how will I know my input is equal to output? Any idea? Anybody? How will I know that my input is equal to output?
So suppose for a project I'm talk about some
Hmm.
project I have given my 100%
Hmm.
to deliver the project, correct? And
Hmm.
if the project is properly delivered, then company giving me some opportunity for my career growth or
Hmm.
giving me some pay benefit. So I understand ki for the, if I as I have done the project properly, that's why company
Hmm.
paid a lot or company giving me the opportunity for go on site and all this. So these things actually that's include input and output is same. So in the
Okay.
next
So,
project actually I can deliver the same way the way I have delivered in the last project.
Okay, this is situational.
Yeah.
But typically, what happens, employees typically say, for example, I am Anita. Okay, so what I do, I'm an HR manager. Anita will then say, hey, I'm an HR manager. I'm putting in all this, and I'm getting this salary. Now, in another organization, the same HR manager role with the same experience, same education, he's getting more salary. What will happen to Anita then? What will happen? Anita, are you there?
Yeah.
So
So
suddenly,
maybe I will
what
go
will
for a
happen to
change.
you?
The
How will
person
you
will
feel?
go for a change.
Huh?
Yeah. It
Huh?
will be difficult to retain for my organization. They
You will
won't
say,
be able
hey,
to.
you see, for the same huh, role, the market is paying more salary. So that means, how will I know my input is equal to output? I have to compare. Are you getting me? I have to compare. So there is a referent. I will be comparing. Only when I compare, what will I do like this? When I compare my rewards with my input to the other person, okay, then what will happen? If I find that yes, it is equal, Anita has compared it with the market and she says, hey, it's equal. So there is fairness, equity. But if it is less or more, that means there is inequity. So, in how many situations will I compare? A, in an organization, a finance manager will compare himself with an HR manager and say, hey, I'm getting lesser salary, I'm in the same grade. So, I can compare within the organization. That is called internal equity. When I compare my job with the rest of the jobs, okay, what is it called? Internal equity. How is this company paying vis-a-vis the other jobs? It's called internal equity, fairness problem. Now, when I compare with the market, what could it be called?
External equity.
External equity. When I compare with the market, it is called external equity. Now, if two individuals are working as what? Payroll assistants. But one of the payroll assistant, at the end of the month, he has to withdraw cash, go and disperse it at a remote location somewhere, and comes. But both the guys are getting the same salary. Is there equity then? So if I'm working a little harder, I should get some amount. Or two salespeople, one guy is performing at a very high level and the other guy is performing at an average level, but both of them are getting the same salary. Is there equity? Quick. Anybody, can you respond? So is there equity or inequity?
Inequity.
Inequity. So what will happen to the guy who's performing at a very high, high performance? What will happen to that guy? Either he will quit or he will reduce his performance. Are you getting me? So therefore, and that is called individual equity. So therefore, in organizations, when you find individual equity, how do you do that? You actually have a variable pay. Perform more, get more pay. Perform average, you just get less. So how many types of equity are there? Three types of equity. Internal equity, external equity, and individual equity. Internal equity is established through job evaluation. External equity is established through what?
Market.
Understanding market. How is the market paying? Comparing yourself with the market so that you could be competitive. And individual equity is established by, I
Comparing
spoke
same
about
individual.
two individuals. So
Yeah.
So you will have incentive schemes. See, that's why do organizations have variable pay? If Sadish is performing better than Anita, I give in the same roles, then I will give variable pay. Perform more and get more pay. Otherwise, what will happen? I'll say, why should I perform? If you are equaling both horses and donkeys are the same and you're paying the same salary, then why should I perform? I will also perform like the other person, average performers. So when organizations are actually saying, hey, we are driving performance through what? Pay for performance. So that, people can stretch themselves. That stretch when you decide on targets, etc., goal setting. Why do you keep that goal setting and stretch? So that people can perform and top performers can get more money. Okay? Any clarifications? Because now you're going to really, you'll take a small break for 10 minutes and you're going to, there's an interesting exercise. You're going to do it as a group activity. Okay, let me open up that and show you. You can actually take a break for 10 minutes and then come back and do that. We will do that. Yeah. First, tell me, have all of you received this Excel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, how will you go about? We will go exercise by exercise and I will be facilitating the entire thing. All right. You can take a small 10-minute break, come back, and then we'll start with the first one, compensation vocabulary. Okay. Then we will go to types of equity. Then we'll go to factors affecting rewards. So these are exercises where your learning gets really reinforced. And even if there are any kind of doubts, then we will clear them up. Okay? Yeah. Anita. Yes, Anita. You
Yeah, ma'am.
have
Ma'am,
something to say.
I had a doubt in the first slide when you mentioned base pay, salary, and wage. So most of
Yes.
the time, all these terms are very interchangeably used. So can you
Mm.
help with what is the difference between all three when you explain them? Salary,
Surely.
salary, wage,
Surely.
and base pay. The first slide.
Yeah. See, when we talk about direct compensation, as I said, it is all about cash. Cash. Okay? Now, this cash, it can come as base pay. Base pay is also called as fixed pay. Is also called as guaranteed pay. Okay. Now, what does it mean? That means that month on month, you are ensured of getting that salary, that amount. For example, an HR manager will say, hey, 10 lakhs is the salary, out of which, say, 8 lakhs is guaranteed or base pay, and 2 lakhs is variable. What does it mean? That means that 8 lakhs per annum is going to be, structured into components, and you will get that 8 lakhs, but 2 lakhs is variable depending on your performance. It does not mean that you will get 2 lakhs as a guaranteed thing. You may get just 1 lakh or you may get nothing based on your performance. So this is called base pay. Is that clear, Anita?
Yeah,
Anita, are you there?
yeah,
Anita?
I'm there. I'm
So
there.
base pay or fixed pay or guaranteed pay, same. All right. Now, this base pay typically you can call it as salary, because why salary? Month on month it gets credited into a bank account. It's called salary. But today, I kept this also as wage. But today, when a worker who works for, say, hours, he could be paid wages. His guaranteed or base salary per hour, $50, $100. Okay. So wage and salary are the same thing. Both are guaranteed, excepting that you are talking about at the end of the month, your salary is credited salary. Wage is given, maybe, how many hours you have worked based on the number of hours of work for a worker, maybe weekly payment or maybe fortnightly payment. And that is why it's called wage. But today, even this is also called salary. So now they're not making any differentiation. But everything is all guaranteed. You decide on the worth of the job, how much per hour you want to pay to this worker, and you are paying it as a guaranteed. It is not variable. Okay, Anita?
Yeah,
Yeah,
follow up
yeah, yeah.
question on the base pay. We'll just go very quickly. So when you said that, base pay is the guarantee pay. So when we are offering a candidate, we always say that the net salary, which is, like the in your compensation, the net salary is the fixed salary you will be getting every month. So is there any difference between base pay and net salary?
Yes. Net salary, see, a compensation expert has to design, has to structure the salary in such a way that your net salary is, at a maximum. For example, Mrinal, no? So Mrinal's salary is 50,000. Okay. So I'm going to give her 50,000. Then what will happen? 50,000 will get what? It will go through the income tax and you may get just about 35 or whatever, depending on the taxes, right?
Right.
So net salary is after the tax deductions.
Mm-hmm.
So base salary again is structured how? Base salary is structured by putting HRA because that has tax exemption, right? Then you have the standard deduction. So you calculate all the tax deductions, tax exemptions, and net salary is the amount which you get in hand. So in lot many organizations where you don't have good compensation experts, your net salary is much less as in compared to what they show you as you're going to get this much. Your salary is this much. And he's very happy. But then he'll say, but net mein itna hi milta hai, only this much. What happened? Why so much of tax deductions? Are you with me?
Yeah.
So net is that cash which you get in hand.
Right.
Can all of you please open your this exercise Excel which Merit has sent. Keep it on your desktop. Okay. All right. Now, this will be a group activity. I'm here to facilitate. Okay. But you have to put your thinking minds, discuss. Can we all be on that exercise one compensation vocabulary? Because some
Yes.
of you may not be in the compensation roles. So it's very important for all of you to be on same page and understand few things. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So these are terms which we use. Compensation. Like Mrinan was asking also. Benefits, rewards, total rewards, fixed pay, variable pay. Okay. Okay. So typically, I want all of you to understand. So discuss compensation. Please, what do you understand by compensation? When we say most, in fact, this is the most often, misunderstood and also, I can say, used interchangeably. What do you understand by compensation?
Monetary payment.
Compensation is all monetary benefits, that is cash salary plus all the allowances.
Okay, I'll ask a very one question. So does it mean that compensation means only base salary?
No.
No.
Cash payments.
Very good, very good. So compensation means everything linked or everything connected with cash payment. That is direct, tangible financial payments. For example, it will include what all? Please, this is exercise. It will include base salary.
Base salary.
Yeah.
It will include what? Incentives.
Incentive, variable pay,
It will
ESOP.
include commissions, overtimes, allowances, etc. Everything related to direct payment of cash. Okay? Excellent. Benefits.
It's
So
all
what are benefits?
non-monetary
Huh?
It's all non-monetary benefits like
Non-cash.
work life,
Non-monetary.
work life
Okay. So
insurance,
benefits could be
plan.
Leave.
mandatory and also non-mandatory. Means as per the government regulation, I have to give gratuity. I have to. But I can also give other benefits, right?
Right.
again, rewards. So what is reward? What comes under this reward?
Monetary
Rewards
and
are,
non-monetary benefit both.
Okay.
yeah.
The way I want you all to do is discuss, and please, one person put the screen and write there in your own words, just 1 or 2 lines. Don't give a textbook definition. So that way you will actually. So please take not more than 10 minutes for this exercise. Go through them. What do you mean as a group if you have understood, and quickly come to a conclusion. Okay. Time only 10 minutes. Yeah. So I will stop sharing because one of you have to put it on. You will write there. Okay. Yeah. Anybody, Avik or Sadish, whose bandwidth is better, please put that on the screen and then discuss and write there.
Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
I think we can see the Avik skin.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
can also see somebody's. It is Sadish or Avik anyway. Okay. We discussed benefits. Now we've come up to rewards. Please write. Yeah. You have to do the discussion so that you understand what is reward. And put it very simply.
So rewards are all monetary and non-monetary
That's
benefits.
good enough. That's good enough. Absolutely.
Nirmala,
Yeah.
will you be showing them the total reward inventory?
Depending on the time.
Okay.
Huh? But
Hmm.
we will. Huh?
I have kept that file open. Whenever you want, you
Okay.
can tell me.
In benefits, you can write non-monetary, both mandatory and non-mandatory. Means required by the government, compliance as per the compliance requirement, and also over and above the compliance.
So the benefit, we can consider the medical insurance as well.
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of organizations, they just don't give insurance as per the mandatory what is required. They give over and above, some of the best organizations, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now coming to total rewards.
Yeah.
It's like more like a employee value propositions. So it's compensation, which is all cash. Then compensation plus benefits, which is non-monetary.
The total
And
rewards
then,
is compensation, benefits for us, well-being.
yeah, work life
Career growth, work-life balance.
performance recognition.
I think we turn into the EVP, correct?
Yeah,
Excellent,
exactly.
guys. So when you talk about so there's a slight difference between rewards and total reward. So rewards talk about both, monetary and non-monetary. But when we talk about total rewards, it is a complete holistic, both financial, non-financial, and also psychological. How do you perceive? There is something called perception, which is very, very important. When we talk about equity theory, it's all about perception. Am I getting less? am I getting more? No, perception. You are comparing and then the perception. So psychological. So total rewards, in other words, it what? It encompasses or it covers everything with regard to financial, non-financial, in terms of taking care of your well-being, as written very well, career growth, work-life balance. So we talked about 5 elements. So as per the total reward
Development and
strategy,
career
there are
opportunities you can recommend.
5 elements. Okay.
Nirmala, I have a question here actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so in that case, if I talk about the non-monetary benefit in the rewards category, so monetary I can understand that is like cash pay, and non-monetary can I consider like medical benefit, transport benefit, any benefits, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I want to make a slight difference. When we talk about total reward strategy, organization is looking at the entire, both financial, non-financial, psychological, from the strategy perspective.
Okay.
Got it? Say, for
Yeah.
example, it is focusing more on career growth, because it's just not money which is going to motivate all the time. Career
Yes.
growth.
Yes.
Look at the perception. If a person feels that he is growing, he's working on more projects, he knows where he will grow in 3 years or 4 years. He is getting upskilled. Huh?
Yeah.
The cost is less, but the value for the organization is very high. So there is both for the employer and the employee. So therefore, total reward strategy works very well. But it doesn't mean that what is working for your organization as a strategy, total reward strategy, is going to work for another organization, because it has to be what? Strategized within the ecosystem where that organization is set in. Got it?
Correct.
Because it has both your external factors driving your organization are different, and another company's external factors are different. Are you with me now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So therefore the strategy is going to be, even your total reward strategy is going to be different, because it depends on the kind of workforce you're going to take, because you will look at their aspirations. Okay, we'll talk more about it later. Okay, now fixed pay.
Fixed pay is salary plus wage.
No, how do you understand? It is guaranteed cash, right? Month on
Guaranteed.
month, guaranteed.
So it's base pay. Oh, yeah.
Any other terms that we want to introduce here? Guaranteed cash, base pay.
Yeah, that's enough, because then we will lose out on time. Yeah, variable pay.
Variable pays are basically all
Variable
incentives.
pay, it could be for performance, it could be for hardships, right?
Yeah.
Performance bonus.
See, bonus is the label you are using, but it is essentially for performance. It
Yeah.
could be at an individual level, team level, organization level. Got it? It varies depending on the performance. Then what is the other aspect? It could also be for hardship. Now, today you are talking more about skill-based pay. More number of skills you are incentivizing those employees, upskilling, cross-skilling. So it's called skill-based pay. Okay,
Merit pay.
short. Pardon? Yeah, you can call it as merit pay.
Merit.
Yeah, short-term incentives. Short-term incentives form a part of the variable pay. Long-term incentives, example? Example?
Retention bonuses.
ESOP.
ESOP. Yes.
Typically, when you look at long-term incentive, it is mostly ESOPs. Even retention bonus, okay, 5 years, etc. But typically, you look at ESOPs, etc. Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think that's good enough. You have done so. It's
Sure.
okay. Anybody who wants to share, please. Somebody who put this where is the exercise gone?
Oh, I stopped sharing.
No, please share.
I will. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I want you all to give one short-term incentive, any one of you, one real example from your organization. Anybody, just one short-term incentive.
Short-term incentive would be performance bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's very broad performance bonus. Anything you all call it as, like for example, I will say sales
Um,
commission for salespeople. It's a short-term incentive, right?
yes, when I was in the retail, actually, there was a per piece incentive. So incentive is
What incentive?
per piece incentive. I mean, how
Okay,
many product they are selling actually. Based on that, we are calculating the incentive for the sales guy.
okay. Good. Then, yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Very
can
nice.
you repeat
Can
that?
you just tell
Ma'am?
me what is it called?
What is it called?
Put
Per
it in the
piece,
chat.
per piece incentive.
Parties incentive.
Per piece incentive. Like suppose I was in Aditya Birla, so I was taking care of Pantaloon store. So in that case, there is a sales guy who was selling 5 shirt. So target would be the sale of 5 shirt. So after selling a shirt, if they are selling 6, 7, 8 shirt, so then per piece they are getting some incentive.
Per piece.
Yes.
Per piece. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
This is like piece rate.
Piece rate.
Yes.
Okay, great, good. Anybody, anyone else who wants to share one more example?
So, Anita, we have this short-term incentive plan, which is designed based on performance of altogether, say, region and the global performances, which includes all the balanced scorecard elements like your customer, your finance, your volumes, and individually the performances. And this again has been designed with baseline performance, minimum performance, and stretch or maximum performance, and based on this the incentive amount is also proportionate.
Okay. So, like after using your BSc framework, huh?
Yeah,
For all the four perspectives, KRS are, I mean,
yeah,
given, and
for that
then
it is like
this, yeah,
designed in a way, it is actually measuring groups also, it measuring BU also, countries also, and then your
right.
department is also there, and parking less say 50 to 60%, that is at individual level. So for individual they are being given KPIs, and then that again has multiplier at base performance, stretch performance, like that.
Absolutely. Good. Okay, let's go to types of equity now. I want you all to, somebody has already written, no.
While you were explaining
This is
equity, I
who?
tried to.
Avik, are you sharing?
Yes, I'm sharing. While you were
Okay.
explaining equity, I tried to do
Oh
this.
my God, this is her. Okay. But okay, group, let it agree. Okay. Now you have to say these are four scenarios, whether it is a case of internal, external. So all of you discuss already. Avik has written a senior executive earns less than a manager in another department with fewer responsibilities. Yeah, your group has to decide. Hmm.
So, what kind of equity
It's
exists here?
internal.
It is, somebody says internal, I believe.
Somebody
Yeah.
says internal. So, nay, all of you agree internal, or there is somebody who does not agree to this internal?
A senior executive earns less than a manager in another department with fewer responsibilities, because the same job role is not the same, so it cannot be right.
No,
The
no.
manager.
So let me, yeah. Okay, to expedite the thing, it is internal equity. Shall I tell you why?
Yes, please.
Senior executive and manager belong to the same organization. Got
Hmm.
it? Huh? Senior executive means earns less than a manager. in another department with fewer responsibility. Maybe the title is manager, but responsibilities are very less. That means, they have actually not established what? Internal equity, right? Because very many times in most of the organizations, what happens, the titles may be big and they are getting paid, but in terms of the job worth, in terms of responsibility, in terms of know-how required, etc., there might be no fairness, no equity at all. So in such cases, what happens, you have to do job evaluation to establish, hey, is it just a title, but what does he do? Okay, it is internal equity.
I've seen this in my organization, internal
I'm
equity.
sure. I'm sure. Very, very common. Very common. Okay. Second one. Let's go to the second one. I think it's easier. Second one. Huh?
Software engineer in company A earns 30% less than a software engineer with similar skills in company B. So if
Is
you
there
have,
somebody who disagrees? Anybody?
External equity.
Yes. Everybody agrees? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Good. Then the third one.
two sales executives in the same team earn different salaries despite similar experience and performance.
Absolutely. Two people. Huh? So individual equity.
Yeah.
Now, fourth.
A finance manager feels underpaid compared to an operation manager within the same company.
Individual.
Within the same company, internal equity. Great. Okay, let's go to the next one. Yeah. No, no, no. In the same types of equity, there is one more, I think.
Okay. Exercise 3, equity mapping activity.
Yeah, let's see that exercise. Yeah.
Visualize equity challenges.
Uh,
I think
I
can you
think
it's
scroll
we
down?
skip
exercise
exercise
2 a
2.
bit.
Exercise
Can,
2. Yes.
Diagnosis. Yeah.
Exercise
Yeah.
2,
ah,
That,
apply equity
okay.
concepts to real life situations.
BG Limited is facing
There is a
100
case given here.
ABC Limited is facing high attrition in its IT team. Okay. Exit interviews reveal. What do they reveal? Employees feel their pay is lower than the market. High performers feel increments are not differentiated. Some roles appear paid lower than less critical roles internally. So, can you identify which type of equity is impacted here? Employees feel their pay is lower than the market.
Which is
What equity is impacted?
external equity.
external.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody agrees? Sadish, do you agree?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Everybody agrees. Absolutely. External equity. High performers feel increments are not differentiated.
Individual equity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Some roles appear paid lower than less critical roles internally. Which equity?
Internal.
That is in
Quick.
internal.
Huh?
Internal.
Internal equity. Internal
Internal.
equity. In relation to the jobs, roles are not being paid equitably. Okay. What action will you take for the first one? Employees feel their pay is lower than the market. Quick. What action as an HR? You found out that this is happening. HR will do what then?
We start doing the salary benchmarking and then it will.
Exactly. You will do market benchmarking. You will
Correct.
find out what is the market pay.
Yes.
Very good. For the second one, what will you do?
Mm,
We introduce performance for pay.
mm,
Yeah, you will look into variable pay, performance, pay for performance. That
yeah.
is individual equity. You look at why, because otherwise, what will happen? High performers will leave the job or they will start performing, they will reduce their performance. Okay. Okay. Third one, what will you do? What recommendation? Job evaluation.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go to the quick. Okay. Exercise 3. Ankit has to scroll down.
Yeah.
Avik has to scroll down.
Exercise 3, equity mapping activity.
Okay. Now, one of you take the lead now. I've been doing more than the facilitator's role. I will only do the
So,
instructions, okay? Ask
yeah,
participants to think about their own organization and answer one example of it. Okay, this we will give it a miss because you have already done a lot, you know very well. Let us go to the exercise 4.
exercise 4, true or false, equity
Ah,
myths. Uh, Paying everyone the same ensures equity.
Answers are also
Almost.
on the
That's
screen.
true or false? Quick.
true or false.
The answers are
False.
also on the screen. So
Huh?
the answers
Answers
are,
are already there on the screen.
Already correct answers are already there.
so if you can,
But tell me why false? Why false? That's important. Why false? Why is it not true?
Paying
Why
everyone
should I
the
not
same.
pay all of you the same salary? Tell me.
because they are
Okay, you
All
people
job
are there,
roles
5
doesn't bring the
participants,
same value to
6
the organization.
participants. Why
So
shouldn't I
paying
pay the
cannot be the
same
same.
salary? Hmm?
Because based
All,
on the
all
job
roles doesn't
evaluation, we
bring the
can
same
pay.
value to the organization. So all roles are different. So it should not be the same pay. It should
Absolutely.
be
Because everybody's, what they do is what they bring to the organization or what is their responsibility, right? So it depends on the role of the job, right?
Right.
You can't pay same thing for a senior manager L&D or even for a L&D executive because the role is different. The outcome of the jobs are different,
Right.
requiring different responsibilities. Okay, one more. Let's see. Market.
Market benchmarking. Market benchmarking alone solves all equity issues.
Does
Is
it?
true or false? That's false.
Why? Why?
market benchmarking alone solves all equity issues.
Market benchmarking will solve only with respect to market competitiveness.
Hmm.
It may only market competitiveness. That means I will be able to know how competitive I am or what am I paying with reference to the other companies in the market, similar companies. But it is not going to solve all the other equity issues. Got it? It will only solve external equity. It is not going to solve individual equity. It is not going to solve internal equity. Very clear?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yes.
Performance differentiation can impact what?
Perceived equity.
What is it? True or false?
Perceived equity is how I look at equity that exists in my organization. Is that what
Ah.
perceived equity is? That maybe uh, so when there is a performance differentiation,
What is perceived? Perceived means the way I see, the way
the way
I,
I see.
right? Hmm.
Hmm.
So
So
is it true or false? Not
Yeah, it
only
will
Avi,
be true. Yeah, it is true.
it is true.
Yeah, it
Anita,
is true. Yeah.
I must give you one chocolate for that.
Thank you.
I'll tell you why. Very nice. Because not many of you, because in fact, even Avik started thinking when I differentiate performance, it will definitely make, I will see it as perceived equity. Means, yes, I'm performing better, I'm getting more. Others are performing lesser, they're getting lesser. Differentiation. Got it? Okay.
equity,
Equity and equality mean the same thing.
No.
no, this is not correct.
Absolutely right. I mean, all of you are correct in that. Okay, good. You guys are really very sharp and smart. Okay. Now let's go to factors affecting rewards.
Factors affecting rewards. Okay.
Yeah. This I want you all to do it on your own.
Ma'am, where is
You
this
have to
exercise?
brainstorm, discuss. Okay.
Uh, this exercise is where, ma'am? Factors affecting rewards.
It is there in the
We
Excel
dis-
sheet, Anita.
It's not there in my Excel. It is code exercise.
So the internal factors.
It can't be possible because it must be there with everybody.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay.
So
You don't have to have 5 factors. Even if you write 2 factors, that's good enough.
organizational pay philosophy, internal factors. That's one.
Organization
Pay
philosophy.
philosophy.
Okay.
Um,
Role.
the second, market competitive. No, that is
No.
individual.
Internal factor. The role. All 5 of you will not be paid equally. Role. You getting me? I hope you got this. Role.
Yeah.
The role. I mean, the role also has an impact, no? Which role are you? Are you a
Job
senior manager?
responsibility also have an impact.
No, but the role definitely covers the responsibility, no?
Yeah, correct.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
So 2 is good enough.
from the responsibilities, from job evaluation comes the responsibilities, and then we trace back the role. What should we
Roll on
choose?
Greg.
No. Tomorrow when we are going to do, but still because you asked a week, I want to tell you. So typically when you start building internal equity, that means how do I pay? Say, for example, there are 10 jobs. So which job should I pay higher and which job should I pay lower? So therefore, it all starts with the most basic thing. What does this job description? So I will do job analysis to document job description. What is job description? It's all a list of the responsibilities this role has to do, what it requires, etc. Once I get that, then I will do job evaluation. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
But internal factor impacted based on the job responsibility as well, correct? So
Yeah, that's
criticality
why I
of
said
the
role.
yeah.
Role. That's why I said role. Okay. Yeah. External factors.
Competition,
Absolutely competition. We talked so many things, no?
Inflation.
Competition,
We discussed inflation.
recession, huh?
government policy,
Yeah.
Government policies,
Unions.
technology,
Demand and supply.
demand and supply.
talent, demand and supply. Very, very important. No? Okay. Yeah, statutory factors. No. Acha, you're statutory factors.
PA fee,
Absolutely. Payment of Wages Act, all
yeah.
those, wage
Yes.
related acts.
Yes.
Environmental and global. Global could be even, in terms of
Environmental global can be location, geographical challenges.
location. So when you talk about global, say for example, somebody, you have it's a multinational, right? It has a global pay philosophy. So sometimes you may have to, that will impact even the local one. Like, for example, typically, people come to me and say, oh, we have to cascade the BSc because our parent organization, which is headquartered in New York, also has the BSc. Likewise, we may have a global pay policy, or global could be also exchange rate, foreign currency exchange rate. You have expats in your organization. Okay. So their compensation gets impacted. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Excellent, guys. So let's scroll down if there is something in that. Yeah, we have already worked. We talked about how does inflation, what change. Okay, let us look at the other one. What changes with the remote and global workforce? After the COVID, we've started having remote, no, working.
Many companies introduced the pay differentiation for the remote jobs.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, they haven't said, because you are working from. So even the list of allowances has changed a lot.
Can you repeat that, ma'am? You said something. Many companies introduced
Pay differentiation,
pay differentiation.
because you're working from remote.
Can you give an example? If I'm working from Kolkata for a Hyderabad-based company, being here in Kolkata remotely, would I be paid less than my Hyderabad peers
You might be based on the cost of living index.
based on the cost of living?
No, I won't pay
Or-
Bangalore salary to you.
Huh.
Okay. It is an advantage for me also for as an employer,
Exactly.
right? Okay,
Exactly.
let's go to total reward now.
Apply total reward concept covers monetary and non-monetary rewards.
Make it a
Reward,
little smaller.
yeah.
I'm going to be a facilitator now. I
Correct.
want you all to read, do. Let me see. I'm just going to be very quiet, but I will intervene when required. Okay, so somebody else will actually be the MC then. Mrinal or Anita, huh? Yeah, take the lead. Read the case, see what you have to do.
Furniture management, manufacturing, facing hydration, initiative.
Little louder, Sadish.
No, I was just reading it out, so
Oh,
I thought
okay.
somebody else is.
Compensation, benefit, work environment, learning and growth. Budget limited to 8%. Attention plus engagement.
Need not be always right, wrong. Brainstorm, discuss.
This is which sheet? This is total rewards.
This whole bucket is total rewards, compensation plus benefit plus work environment plus learning and growth. So altering these four buckets individually through initiatives one and two. So what could be the initiatives in terms of compensation? When I'm the HR manager in a manufacturing company facing high attrition, how should I revise my compensation, my benefit, my work environment, and my learning and growth opportunities? That is the crux of the problem. I just try to define the problem, paraphrase the problem.
Yeah. So in since it's a manufacturing company, and when it comes to compensation, probably we could there is in manufacturing sector, it is better to have a performance based uh, pay systems wherein productivity performance differentiation would be one initiative that can be done. I don't know if anybody agrees to that or not.
Performance based payout. Everyone agrees to it, or if you have any other views, please feel free to.
I think
When you
for
say
me, it would be the initiative one would be the market benchmarking because their attrition is high among the junior engineers. So I have to check out the other manufacturing what's happening.
so when you say attrition is high, maybe we have to check what is the reason for attrition. It could not be just always compensation or benefits. It could be also related to work environment or something which is related
Yeah,
to
That,
career.
correct. Yes.
that bucket comes in the below. So this is basically with regards to compensation, what is the initiatives that you have to do? There are four
So,
buckets that you have to identify.
This
it's not
comes
all.
under work
Yeah.
environment.
So that comes below. But this is
Yeah, yeah.
specifically
Yes, yes, yes.
compensation.
So do we need to do everything into all the buckets?
Yes.
Because as an organization, it may not be always viable to do everything in all these spheres.
So when it comes to
No.
work,
Just a thought. Just a thought.
yeah.
Okay. So
When it comes to work environment, typically a manufacturing company would have its own work environment which is very routine and production line oriented. So I'm just trying to think it out aloud. Maybe some enhancements in work environment can be done in terms of giving some benefits like making uh,
Health and hazardous
gym,
process is there in manufacturing. So health and hazardous process we can check.
health
So
and
just to add one point, it is very clearly highlighted that it's a junior engineer. So I give you a very real time problem what we faced in our company, wherein the attrition is high at the junior level. So when I relate this and see that the budget increase is just limited to 8%. So when you talk of higher salary, 8% is still relevant. But when you talk of lower salary people, the 8% is very, very less. So that could be the reason that the management may have to increase their budget, especially for the lower category. Looking at the inflation rate is at almost 5 to 7%, and if we look at the 8% budget, of course, it is not even compensating for the inflation. So, could be a differentiated compensation philosophy in terms of increments or benefits. That could be one other thing which could be done.
no, differentiated compensation philosophy. Thank you so much. Since you mentioned the young engineers, that gives me an opportunity to put forward a point like we can have a game room or something for them, a recreation room, maybe. Again, just a point putting it down. Recreation room or game room, which can uh, lighten the work environment a bit. And in terms of learning and growth, we can have some certifications, some programs, executive MBAs, and things like that. But again,
I think in learning and growth, the best way, since it is junior engineers, would be a career ladder. An implementation of a career ladder program would be great because
career ladder or career
this is
ladder.
something that motivates the junior level persons
Okay.
to stay in
Yes,
organization.
career ladder or career path.
Career
So
path.
career path. So having a clear career path. Uh, benefits, do you want to include some benefits? And then we have to also understand that there's a constraint like 8%. So, so what would be realistically possible? Not everything, maybe.
In the compensation, what I would suggest, one more thing is that our retention bonus would be better
That's not that one. Retention bonus. That is another.
because it's attrition, so our retention should be a focus.
Retention bonus should be focused because it is attrition.
Uh, and in terms of benefits, uh,
This is
I
the only
Which
think
are
is a
more
manufacturing, so
flexible.
benefit should be the medical insurance would be more for
then
the
it's actually junior level employees. The medical
yeah.
insurance for a young person like who's on the 20,
No,
25,
not
26.
only the young person, the because of his family as well, we can extend actually.
medical insurance for parents. That could
For
be
family, parents,
family.
yes. Dependents.
Very good, very good. Because typically organization at a lower level, floater, family floater kind of an insurance.
Family.
Yes.
And also, what happens because you are doing this insurance in large numbers, what happens? Economies of scale. So there is a lower cost per head. So
Mm.
what happens? They also offer employees saying that you can add in more members if you want to at a small extra cost. So benefit in terms of medical, especially
Yeah.
is key because they will be having parents or they will be having, junior engineers. So you can think of it. Even
But
parents would
Yes.
be around. Yeah.
Actually, I
I
just
have
share
seen
one thing
one.
actually from my experience. Actually, I have seen like people are not leaving the organization because they are getting benefit in terms of medical for their parents.
So if you want to
That's
take out more money from where, you can also look at some kind of a see what are the current benefits and what are not being used so much, so that
Yeah.
that budget can be used for actually what is
I
required.
think
Because
for
sometimes,
younger
very
generation,
often
I
in
think for
organizations,
younger
we do
generations,
benefits. Yeah, Sadish. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the younger generations, what motivates them more is actually to provide them a bucket of benefits wherein they can actually choose, so that you have a couple of, or let's say you have 10 benefits, including insurances, gym memberships, and a lot of other things. So that if you're actually giving them the freedom to choose, you have 10 benefits, and then it's kind of a bucket, and you can actually choose 6 of them or 8 of them.
Ab-
So it
Absolutely.
gives them
Very,
more. It's something that.
yeah. Absolutely. So we call it as flexi benefits and cafeteria, menu driven,
Yeah.
in the sense that exactly for these junior engineers, this is the budget. So you can have a list of benefits after you do the benefit survey. What are those benefits? So that again it is customer driven, and then you you have a budget limit, and mandatory stuff they have to do it. Then excess, they can use it in the way they want. You have a list,
Exactly.
menu driven. Yeah. Then actually, what happens when
I
you
think
do
learning
this?
and
The
growth,
perception.
Avik, I think
He
one of
sees
the things
value
that
in
the
it.
people are actually looking at when since it is actually junior level positions is actually mentorship programs. That is in learning and growth. It really drives people staying in organizations.
In learning
In
and growth,
learning
and
and
it doesn't cost much mentorship programs.
it's a very cheap
No, no,
benefit.
cheap in the sense it doesn't cost you much, but
Yeah,
very
exactly.
high value, very high
High,
value.
very, 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 very gives.
Career guidance, mentorship, also work environment. Somebody has written very nice recreation room, game room, because if you see manufacturing company, if you improve the work environment, people might feel very, because it's all process driven, etc. Some room for recreation. Very good points. Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah,
I
great.
think
So anything else, guys?
in work environment, I think we should add one more. I think. Is there anything else in work environment?
Maybe more flexible policies.
You can
What is
also
it?
have you noticed it is they are they are facing high attrition. So where it doesn't, because you have a budget constraint, you can also have some voice forums, in the sense, monthly forums where there is something like an engineers can speak, junior engineers. Today, in today's organizations, communication becomes very, very important, top down, bottom up. So how will you have their juniors, they also will have their views, or they will have some grievances. So where is that forum which will, it doesn't cost much, but at least you will get to know, right?
Mm.
So that will be, you can also look at that in a work environment.
Yes. Voice forums to voice the
Forum
grievance.
for scoring, yeah, voice forums.
Sure.
Also, you can add skills sharing, you know,
Skills sharing.
because many may not get the opportunity. So the one who have those opportunities can share their experience.
Skills sharing, voice forum to voice the grievances. Okay.
What is it? This skill sharing? I didn't understand that. What is exactly?
Hmm?
Skill sharing means what is it? What is it does?
It basically enhances your learning and development, growth
So what
opportunities.
what Vilma
Those,
is actually looking at is skill sharing. This is like an internet where I have done something, I'm sharing. This is what it's again like a forum where you are
Okay,
exchanging some in
it's
terms
more
of
like a
knowledge
knowledge
sharing.
sharing.
KMI, knowledge
Uh,
management system. Yeah.
yeah, because individually also the employees are doing their own learning, independently. So it gives an opportunity to share those knowledge and help the others also to enhance on those areas.
Also here, in terms of, like, for example, because you have a budget constraint and junior engineers as a part of the learning and growth, etc., you can have something like we talked about, cross skilling and upskilling,
Yes.
something like a skill based increment, saying if you increase, because in manufacturing organizations, typically what happens, safety becomes very important. So, hey guys, if you have a safety certification, you have some incentive, right? Or say, for example, proficiency in certain operating certain machines, etc., you have some incentive. So what happens, people, rather than this entitlement kind of a mindset, uh, you have to earn for it. Got it?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yes.
that's how what happens. People will be retained. People see that there is some kind of a career growth for them. There's also an increase in terms of incentives for them. So this is not just entitlement that year on year you're getting something. Okay?
Also, for example, like, like you all are attending this compensation and benefits program. After the program, you can share that knowledge, with your team members and enable them to enhance their skills, because you will be continually, working with them. So it is the best platform and forum for the juniors to learn from their managers, and that will enhance the value of the manager.
Absolutely.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, before we close total rewards, one more thing. In many organizations, what happens when they are sent for training programs, they have to come back and do a kind of a, retrain all their peers, or give, share the knowledge. It becomes mandatory for them. It is not that they went, they had some good time, came back. No, the management expects that, they should share whatever they have actually learned in the forum. Okay, guys, but good job done. I hope it is all clear. Okay. Yeah. Now let's go to pay packet. Compensation philosophy, I will teach you all only in external equity. Let's just go to pay packet. Yeah. Because Mrinal or Anita, I think they were asking about, yeah. Let's go to pay packet.
Components of a
So
compensation.
typically, basic pay, HRA, let us just understand, because you can do as a home assignment, designing a salary. So base pay, basic pay. Normally, what percentage of the salary is basic pay?
50.
50 and more than 50.
It should not be less than 35%, because it should not be below the payment of minimum wages act, right? Okay. And why do you keep base as per now? Because you also want, there is a exemption, or a certain percent, because all your other statutory benefits are calculated on base salary. HRA 30 or 40% of the basic, even your gratuity, even your PF. So therefore, basic pay base should not be very less. What is special allowance? When you get your paycheck or pay slip, there is a component called special allowance. What is that? Is the organization giving you some special allowance?
No,
Huh?
no, I haven't seen a special allowance.
So let me just share this very interesting. I was doing an assignment for a multinational and Indian, unit of a multinational. So the lady there abroad, the compensation head, she wanted to know, what is this? Are we giving some special allowance over and above the salary? So, guys, so this is not over and above the salary. This is your salary, but for the purpose of whatever tax exempt, so it is structured in a way where you will get your base salary, basic pay, HRA, and over and above that, whatever is left, that goes into your special allowance. We will do a calculation now when we go back to that code on wages. Okay. So special allowance is a part of your salary where you are actually paying tax. Okay. Yeah. Performance bonus is which category? Fixed or variable?
Variable.
Variable. PF is a
Benefit.
Benefit.
benefit. It is a protection benefit, not social security benefit. Gratuity, social security benefit. Insurance, social security benefit. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's now go to code on wages.
Ma'am, I have a question. You said
Yeah.
PF is not a security benefit, social benefit, sorry, social
Yeah.
security
Yeah.
benefit. But
Ah,
why PF is not an gratuity? It is just for understanding purpose because many countries
protection. PF and gratuity, I call mandatory protection benefits. Yeah.
protection benefit.
Yeah. You can't get away. Many you have to, right? As per the
Mhm.
government compliance. Okay. Now, I'm sure all of you know that we have a new code of wages on wages as per the 2019 one, right?
Yes.
Huh? So, if you look at it, we'll just go through this. Um, the laws before that, you had so many laws: payment of wages, minimum wages, bonus act, equal remuneration act, EPF, etc., etc. Now this has been consolidated into four labor codes. And what are they? Wages, social security, IR, and occupational safety and hazard, right? Earlier you had so many. Now, the definition of wages also, what? It has been standardized because earlier you had the definitions under payment of wages, under minimum wages, etc., under equal remuneration, but now it has been standardized. Now, basic pay structuring, this is very, very important. What is that basic pay structuring? Have you noticed? Earlier, basic could be kept as low as 30 to 40%. But now, if you are paying DA, mostly public sector, it has to be more than 50% or equal to 50%. So what does it mean? How does it impact compensation? Anybody? There's a change in the government regulation that the basic plus DA must be typically be more than or equal to 50% of total remuneration. How will it impact the other benefits?
The percentage, because it is calculated on base salary, so
Hmm.
they will increase if the base salary increase.
No, 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 no. Right now, you are only doing 30 to 40%. So you are
Yes.
paying less PF, less gratuity. But have you noticed the government has made it now? It has to be either equal to 50% or
More than.
more
More
than
than.
50%. So therefore, impact on PF, employer also has impact on gratuity. Got it?
Right.
Let's go to an example. Can you scroll down, whoever is sharing? There's a worked out example so that you will be able to. Let's see this simple example. Very easy to understand. You will have to, yeah, yeah. Just scroll up a little so that you can see the entire example as such. Yes. So, what is included in wages as per the code on wages 2019? Basic pay, DA, and if you are having any retaining allowance. Now what is happening? Say, for example, so what is total remuneration? That means wages plus all the components. So we'll go to this example straight away. Say, for example, your basic plus DA is how much? 18,000 rupees. Okay. And you also have allowances, which are 27,000. So what is your total pay right now? 45,000. as per the new code of wages, what is it? It has to be either 50% or
More.
more. So therefore, first of all, you have to calculate 50% of 45,000. Are you getting me now? So 50% of 45,000 is how much?
22.
22,500. So
500.
now here, if your basic plus DA is 18,000, that means now you have to make what?
Basic plus DA
Your
22.
excess allowances of 27,000 minus the 4,500 will have to be added on to that 18,000. Got it?
Scroll up. Scroll up. No,
Ma'am,
no,
I have a question. When you say
Scroll down.
allowances,
scroll down that example sheet. Ha,
Yeah, then this will become much easier for you.
Hmm.
See, now, till now, organizations were playing with allowances so that the person, even the employer, doesn't have to pay much of gratuity and PF.
Hmm.
Employer, and they were increasing the allowances. Now, what is happening? So, have you seen a clear case of if your salary total pay is 45,000, okay, and you have said your basic is about 18,000, huh? As per the current new code of wages, it has to be 50%. So first of all, you have to calculate 50% of your 45,000, which is 22,500. Okay. Now, allowances are excess 27,000. So you have to now, first of all, deduct from 27,000, you are 22,500, which are in excess of 4,500, and add it to your 18,000. That means your basic and DA will become now how much?
22,500.
22,500. So now your PF and gratuity application will be on 22,500 and not 18,000.
18,000.
Got it? Earlier, it was reduced basic. So reduced PF, reduced gratuity. But now it has increased. So have you seen earlier? It was 12% on 18,000. But now it is 12% on 22,500. If you scroll down, still increase in PF cost. So how much is the increase in PF cost? 540.
540.
Very, very clear. It explains very clearly. Okay. Okay, guys. Next, let us go to compensation philosophy. I will just touch upon it little because I don't want to rush it because I want to teach it when we are doing the external equity. Okay. As I said, what is compensation philosophy? That means how do we want to pay our employees? From where do we get our talent? Huh? How much of base salary? How much of variable pay, etc., etc. Now, this compensation philosophy has to be aligned to your business model. Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as I said, there are three types of business strategies. What are they? One is the product leadership, second is the operational excellence, and the third is the customer delight. For example, a Google, Apple, these organizations are in the product leadership. They're always innovating. They're always trying to get new product features, but they don't come cheap. They're very expensive. Does a Apple cost less? Apple phone?
No.
Very expensive. So to make these things, you have to actually hire very good engineers, very good people. But if you have to attract them, you have to pay high salaries. Got it? So that's one business model, product leadership. I want to give my customer what? Best of product, best of new features constantly. So if I have to be like that, what do organization do then? They have to invest a lot in their R&D. They want people. What will become one key compensable factor? initiativeness, creativity. I have to see, all my entire workforce has to be highly creative. Now, the next organization, like for example, an Amazon or a, pizza, burger, what is this? What is that? Pizza, wherever, if you want, quick pizza, quick something, where do you go? McDonald's, right? So, what do? They are focusing so much on what? Least cost and good quality. So they have to focus on what? Operational excellence, good processes. They can't afford to pay more to their employees. So they will be average salaries. The next one is customer delight. Go to Starbucks. Will that coffee, how expensive will that coffee be? Will it be cheap or very expensive?
Very expensive.
Because when you go there, he will ask you what kind of coffee you want, what do you want me to put. He will take at least 5 to 10 minutes to understand your choices. No? Then you can sit there, enjoy, stay there for an hour, 2 hours, go. But can you do that in a pizza shop, which is the McDonald's? You have to eat fast and go,
Hmm.
right? So it's a different experience, customer experience. He's wanting to delight the customers. Obviously, it's expensive. So he is seeking out people who are very, very high on emotional quotient. So your compensation philosophy, therefore, depends on the kind of talent you want to enter. Yes or no? So my compensation philosophy, which has to be aligned with the business strategy, will will help me to attract the talent depending on what kind of talent I want. Say, for example, Avi, think of your organization. Let us discuss what kind of what products and services do they offer to the customer?
We are into digital services. We offer
Yes,
annotation service.
yes.
Yeah.
Is it a niche product or is it something at an affordable cost? You want, are you are looking at volumes or you're looking at just a niche market?
No, we are looking at volumes because this is
Volumes.
something which the US people do not do. It is a lot of
Right, right.
detailed, low level labeling work. So we need a
Yeah.
lot of people at a lower cost.
Yeah. So that means you want to attract talent, which is affordable. Huh? You don't
Yes.
want the best of people from IITs, right?
No,
You
no,
will take tier two, tier three engineers for whom you will pay average salaries.
absolutely.
Got it? So your compensation philosophy will be to attract talent which is affordable from tier three, but you will train them and able to retain them for a longer time. So maybe one thing is like, depending, looking at career growth, looking at more of learning initiatives, because you can't afford to increase your salary all the time. You have a budget constraint, right? Now
Right.
let us look at one more example. Yeah, one more example. So, one more industry. So company A, so you will pay at an average salaries, right? But whereas let us look at Sadish, they are looking at niche market. So will they pay above the market for their high performers or below the market? Sadish?
We will pay above the market for the high performance.
Absolutely. Because you don't want, if you pay, you know, um, if you want monkeys, you will, pay peanuts and you'll get monkeys, right?
Yeah, absolutely right.
So you want niche people. So you have to pay above the market.
Yeah.
Okay. But then in a retail, who was working in retail? I think Anita or Mrinal. Anita, you there?
No, not retail. Yes.
Who was
Jewelry.
working in retail? Huh?
Srijoni. I said I worked
Johnny.
in, yeah.
Yeah. Company C. When you work in retail, you want to sell more. So you'll keep the fixed pay low and you'll say, hey, sell more, you will get more. through incentives. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So have you seen the strategy of three companies is different? Huh? In a
Yes.
retail, you want to sell more, so you'll say, hey, I can't afford to have high fixed salaries because that means guaranteed cash month on month. No, I want to keep it low, but I want to encourage, be aggressive. Think of another industry which also keeps fixed pay low and rewards aggressively. Can you tell me which is the other industry?
Call centers.
Huh?
Consumer products, like, selling
Okay, consumer products, but you know which company, which industry it is.
FMCG,
FMCG.
Yes, yes. Insurance.
insurance. Yes, yeah,
Huh? Right?
yeah.
So they want to sell more insurances. So they will keep what? Low fixed pay, but they will say, hey, you'll have more commissions if you sell more. Got it? So how different industries will have different compensation philosophies. Got it? So when you have different compensation philosophies, you will mix what I call it as pay mix. What is a pay mix? That means base salary plus variable pay. What percentage will you pay? Will you keep as base? What percentage will you keep as variable pay? So in an insurance company or in a retail, the percentage of base or a fixed pay will be low, whereas the percentage of variable pay will be high. But in a product, you know, leadership company, the base salary will be high and also the variable pay, because if you don't have base salary, you can't attract good people. While, like for example, Avik, while in a manufacturing organization or in an operational excellence company, the salaries are very low in general, but they are not, the base salary is not as low as the company see. Okay. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about the company compensation philosophy and what is a compensation policy, which we call it as leading, lagging, or on par. Okay, when we do external equity. Okay, guys, good job done. All of you have really done very well, and we didn't even know how the time passed by. So, time left for maybe we could do one or two questions. Yeah. Anybody for any questions? Any clarifications? Because what essentially we have done is we have set the context. We talked about the factors impacting compensation. External factors, internal factors. External factors like demand and supply, cost of inflation, recession, economic, automation, etc. Internal, organization philosophy, affordability, size, role, right? Okay. So these factors impact compensation. Then we talked about fundamentally, uh, if an organization wants to be what? Fair, equitable. What are the three? So the equity principle, we talked about it, right? Output, input, output. They have to be equal. Only then employees are happy, motivated. Now, how do they know that it is not equal? They will compare. How will they compare? One, within your organization, which is called internal equity. Two, they will compare it with the others, external market, or they will compare it with somebody who's doing the same job. Okay, individual equity. So, in essence, organization, in order to establish equity, they have to deal three equities: internal, individual, and external. So how do you deal internal? By doing job evaluation. How do you deal external? By doing market pricing, salary surveys. How do you do individual? By doing performance incentives, designing variable pays. Okay. Then we said, hey, organizations today, they are they have budget constraints, affordability, because it is directly linked with employee cost to revenue, right? If your employee cost is up, what will happen? Impact on profit. So what will organization do? You have to maintain your wage cost at a certain level. Okay. But of course, along with the organization's life cycle also, because startups will have higher wage cost sometimes. But then, having said that, what are the other ways of ensuring that you pay compensation, but ensuring that you actually do build a employee value proposition? You can do that by improving their perception. How can you do that? By building a total reward strategy. When they are onboarded, am I increasing their experience? Right? Improving their experience. How do they? So you are attacking both from psychological perspective, financial perspective, and non-financial perspective also. So there are 5 elements we talked about. What are they? Salary, compensation, fixed, variable, benefits. Then what? Performance, recognition. Then development, learning and growth, and flexibility. Okay. So these are all, you look at it as a strategy to increase the employee value proposition. So we looked at all these things. Now, in the next session, we'll be looking at job evaluation, which is a very, very critical session. It is like climbing the, what is it? Which mountains? Huh?
Himalaya.
Himalayas. No, Mount Everest.
Mount Everest.
Okay. All right, guys. So please read for the next session. I will appreciate that because it will be highly technical. But nevertheless, I'm not scaring you. But also go back and just look at it. What I feel, if you just think, I know it, and read it after 15 days, then again it will be like Greek and Latin. Go back, spend 10 minutes, go through your exercises. That's good enough. Okay. All right.
I have a
So,
I have a
yeah,
question.
please ask. Yeah.
yeah. So should I go first?
Yes, yes.
So as
Anybody.
as we've discussed this, and a lot of time we use this term like based on the market, based on the market. How do we usually understand exactly what's the market range? So as in if we are working on the compensation analysis, so how we will understand what is going in the market?
Yeah, Minal. So I will, we have a session,
Okay.
how to actually establish external equity, how to identify peer companies, how to collect data. Then having collected data, then how do you then collate the data and analyze and put it into percentiles? Okay. A little technical, that percentiles. Then when you are actually reading market data, then how do you say you are at a 50th percentile of the market, you are at a 70th percentile of the market? I will explain all that. It is a little technical, but unless and until I show you all that with the data, you will not be able to understand.
These are
Okay?
in the following sessions, so you will get
Yeah.
it.
So you will definitely, because it's a whole science, external equity. Okay?
So I have a question actually. Just now, Avik has done the exercise, and how do I get the Excel sheet? Actually, is he will share with it.
Yes. I'll ask him to share.
ठीक है. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome.
All right. Okay, guys. I hope you're taking back something to
No, I
as
think
a
they
learning.
had a good clarity on each of the areas. Am I correct? Everyone
Yeah.
has got a
Yeah.
fair, right? Now, I don't think you
Yes.
will forget it, and you have the templates
So
and
even
everything.
if you have certain things, you can always put it up on the WhatsApp
Yeah.
and let us know. Okay.
Okay, thank you
Have
so
a
much.
nice weekend. Have a nice weekend, guys.
Hey,
Okay.
weekend they will have tomorrow. Not today.
All right. Okay.
So
Take care.
I'll put the job evaluation reading on the chat for your quick accessibility, and you can quickly just glance through it. That will give a good overview, and then depth for tomorrow's session.
And I'll put this
Thank you so
Excel
much.
on the chat.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
please
be
do.
on time, guys, tomorrow. Okay.
Same
All
here.
right.
Okay,
Take care.
welcome.
And do
Thank
not
you.
miss at all because it's a very critical session. Okay. Take care. Bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
bye, bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.